Hi, and welcome to another episode of our Community Partner Series. Today I'm chatting with the incredible CEO, Anthony Chesler of Thread Together. This is an incredible organization which I'm super excited to tell you about. So stay tuned and I'll chat to you at the end.
Hello, Anthony. Thank you for joining me. We'll
Thank
jump
you.
straight into it. So tell us, who are you and what's your role at Thread Together?
My name is Anthony Chesler. I'm the CEO at Thread Together. Thread Together is an organization which exists to solve two really relevant problems, and neither of those problems are going away, sadly. The first is to keep brand new clothing in circulation at its highest value for as long as possible. Sadly, about 1/3 of all new clothing goes from factory to landfill. So the first reason why we exist is to keep that product out of landfill. And the second reason we exist is, sadly, in Australia, there's a lot of people who are living vulnerable or in marginalized communities. Prior to COVID, there was a statistic that said it was 1 in 8 adults and 1 in 6 children that were living at risk without food security, without access to housing. And what we talk about is the forgotten basic human right, which is clothing. So as an organization, we exist to save clothing from going to landfill and to giving it to people around the country who need it.
Love it. And so just like a bit on a tandem here, but why do clothes seem to go to landfill? Is it returns? Is it just stock that doesn't sell?
Yeah, it's I mean, there's many reasons. We're only working with new clothing, so it's not and the reason being is we believe people at their darkest hours are deserving of the best and shouldn't have to be reminded of their circumstances. Sadly, we live or have lived for a number of years or decades in a linear economy in the context of taking, making, and wasting or disposing of. And increasingly brands are now taking responsibility for end of life of the garment. Unfortunately, some designers get it wrong. Sometimes the fashion changes and there's a little catch up that's being played. Other times you have situations like COVID where shops don't open for many, many months. And so the clothing that sits in that store didn't get sold and the next season's clothing's on the way. So there's many reasons why clothing doesn't get sold. Sometimes it's overproduction, sometimes it's style. Yeah, we exist for that reason, to save that beautiful clothing from many thousands of brands that we work with and get it to people who need it most.
And you've kind of already touched on it, but what is Thread Together's mission?
Yeah, our mission is to clothe. Well, our mission is we would prefer not to exist, if I was honest with you. We would prefer that there wasn't as much excess brand new clothing in circulation, in that as consumers we became more responsible for consumption and started to influence brands in ways to help them to reduce overproduction. And we would also hope that people in the community didn't exist. There wasn't a need for clothing, so that people had the means and the sustenance. So our mission is to save clothing from landfill and to give it to people who need, and to keep that clothing at the highest value for as long as possible. But ultimately, as a registered charity and not for profit, our preference would be not to exist, in that need didn't exist and the supply wasn't there either.
Yeah, of course. And what would be the biggest challenges that Thread Together is facing currently?
Well, big question.
Yeah.
As an organization, for us to sort of deliver our services, we rely on 4 areas of need. The first is time, and we're very fortunate to receive volunteers. They could be corporate citizens, retailers, or fashion brands who send their teams to volunteer at our center, as well as community members and students. We need talent to move forward our pipeline of work, and so that's probably an area that's particularly challenging at the moment. Being a very small team, we lean on our partners to help us to deliver our pipeline of work. So having capacity and capability in our team is really important to us. The third area, which is also particularly challenging, but an area that we need, is ties or connections. If you think about us as an organization that is supply-led from an inventory management perspective, means that we don't often get to choose what we would like to give to our clients. And often they may order something that we don't have. And so we're working really hard to close the product gaps by leveraging networks. And so brands introduce us to other brands, for example, to help us to close gaps that we may have in underwear or women's belts or men's sneakers. It's all around leveraging networks to close the gap. And the last challenge that we have in terms of area of need for us as well is financial support, or what I call treasure. And we want to stay focused on the work that we're doing, but ultimately we have to continue to fundraise to deliver our services. So those are the 4 areas that are always challenging for us, because we could always do with more people to help us to leverage time to deliver our services. We could always do with more talent in our team, or capacity or capability, connecting to close inventory gaps, and lastly, having the financial resources to continue to deliver our work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it must be hard, like with COVID as well. Did that impact a lot of like volunteers and things?
Absolutely. Like that was a very big challenge for us during COVID. Whilst many charities couldn't run fundraising events, we as a first responder and as an essential service worked throughout COVID. Like more clothing was donated to us in the last 18 months than were in the last sort of 5 years.
Wow.
And more people were in need. So just because there's a pandemic doesn't mean that people's circumstances don't change. In fact, it becomes more difficult for many people. And so having the capacity to deliver our services during that time was very challenging. We leaned very much on our community of volunteers to help us to do so. And in between all of that, we actually moved centers to a larger fulfillment center because space became a big constraint for us. So yeah, it's been a challenging couple of years with bushfires and COVID, and more recently the flooding in southeast Queensland and in northern New South Wales.
Yeah, definitely. And from your time like with Thread Together, are there any impact stories that have really stuck with you the most?
Wow, so many stories.
Yeah.
I'm really so lucky to be in a role that I get to drive an organization forward and scale up nationally and work with community and help people every single day. One of my highest values is around contribution. So I get to sort of live that value every single day and see the difference that clothing has on people's lives. And like you and I, we opened up our wardrobe and we're fortunate enough to put something on today that we chose. We look to create that same experience for people in need all around the country. So if you've arrived into the country from Afghanistan or from Ukraine more recently, and you've arrived with nothing because you have walked many hundreds of kilometers, we're meeting those people. We're not watching it on the news and believing it and knowing that it's far away. These people are arriving in our country. They are arriving with nothing. And to be able to empower them by giving them the choice in clothing, not sort of simply saying to them, hey, we think you might be interested in wearing this pair of sneakers or that. We actually provide choice in the way in which our service is delivered, really is transforming people's lives. So those could be people, as I said, who've just arrived into the country. We provided a number of suits to a gentleman who's returning to work who just recently arrived from Afghanistan. It's very prestigious to wear a suit in Afghanistan. This individual never thought in his lifetime that he would wear a suit, and he's arrived in Australia with nothing. And to be able to empower him by giving him, you know, a beautiful suit and some ties and a shirt and a pair of corporate shoes, and you know, he looked, you know, there's this concept called enclosed cognition, and he really felt like he belonged somewhere, and it was empowered, and his posture changed. So there's so many stories. We've helped people whose houses have been burnt down, and they've arrived at our centers wearing the clothes that they were in, you know, 2 or 3 days back. And to give them a beautiful jumper and something warm to wear as the season changed, and just to see how uplifted they are. Many women sadly are escaping domestic violence, and they themselves are, you know, never thought they would find themselves in that circumstance. No one chooses to be in a situation or by choice. So no one ever envisages having to leave a relationship with the clothes on your back and a handbag. And I know we've you know, sadly, we've opened up our clothing hubs to women who've been battered and bruised and have had ripped clothing. But, you know, there's some very sad stories, but there's some very uplifting stories. And we talk about clothing as the forgotten basic human right. And I think so many stories to share about the difference that clothing has to people. And thank you for creating this opportunity to showcase and share the work that we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And what further support to help Thread Together would you need for the future? Whether it be like volunteers, funds, what do you guys need?
We the four things that I touched on a little bit earlier. To deliver our services, we are powered by volunteers. We're very grateful for community members and fashion brands and retailers, corporates to reaching out to want to volunteer. But we need that capacity to take our vehicles, our mobile wardrobes into community. So time is a really, really important and highly valued resource that we require. The second area that we need, more support is probably on the talent side. Like we've got some, we're a very small team, so we rely on our partners. So really leveraging talent to move our pipeline of work forward is something that because we're ambitious as an organization and we're wanting to do more. We're doing some really exciting space in managing product that we can't move because there's too much of it. But we just need some additional capacity. And if we had the resources, the financial resources, we could probably go and hire those people. But if not, we have to lean on our partners for talent. So I'd say time and talent are really key areas of need for us. And some of these things can be answered by having more money, but often you need people that have got the will and the skill, not necessarily the resources, the funding just to make that possible. So yeah, small organization, although 10th year in operation, we entirely are reliant on philanthropy. We're entirely reliant on volunteers to leverage their time and their talent.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
That's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hearing my chat with Anthony Chesler from Thread Together. They are such an incredible organization, and it was really special that I was able to share what they're all about with you all. So if you would like to help, head to threadtogether.org where you can donate or maybe volunteer and help them out. So you won't only be helping people in need of clothing, which is a forgotten basic human right, but you'll also be saving the environment from all these clothes heading to landfill. So please head to their website and find out more information, and I'll see you next time.